It's Bob and Tom Tonight, starring Chick McGee, Christy Lee, Josh Arnold, Ace Cosby, Pat Godwin, Willie Griswold, and Tom Griswold.
Once again,
I give up.
non sequitur. There's Willie Griswold.
Good morning.
He wants somebody to walk his dog, so.
I'm Chick McGee. That was an off-the-air conversation.
So wait a second. You'll pay him $30 every time he takes your dog out for a walk?
No, I do pay someone more than that because I like them to come over and let my dog out in the backyard. I was going to help my friend Chick out. No, that's not going to happen because you already said if you went to my house, you'd take a big dump, and I'm not having that. Nobody dumps at my house but me.
I've dumped at your house.
You have not. Have you?
You knew it.
I don't think I did.
You weren't happy about it.
Oh, good Lord. Tom,
next time I'll use the bathroom.
Would you do that at somebody's house?
You actually have...
Well, if you have to go, you got to go.
You've had guests at your house?
Yeah, long time. Before the pandemic.
Okay.
Before I found out, hey, I can be agoraphobic. And blame the heat and the pandemic.
Or no, I'm not going to stand here while you insult Ace Cosby when it's, of course, time once again for...
We already did this.
You did it already.
It's a double header.
That's right.
With his joke of the day.
My girlfriend poked me in the eye, so I had to stop singing for a while.
But you know...
Oh, my.
No, you know what? I like that one.
I get it. She poked you in the eye. That's when you couldn't see, so therefore you stopped singing and everything else for a while. Thank you very much. Special double-header edition of the Ace Cosby. Now, do you remember the one you did earlier today? Yeah. Okay, let's
don't remember
can we do it again?
Get
it right this time.
Ace Cosby, here he is with his joke of the day.
If a snake married an undertaker... Wait a minute. If a snake married an undertaker, what would their towels in the bathroom say? What would their bathroom towel say? I don't know. His and hers.
No, they wouldn't say his.
No, you messed it up again.
At all.
It's his and hers.
No, I mean, if a snake...
Dumbass.
Guys, Ace, you know what? This is not your fault. This is Tom's fault. Yes. This is like the 50th time he's gone to you to do a repeat of a joke, and it never works. No. Tom should know better.
Yep.
I thought he'd get it right this time.
Well, again, then you are clinically insane.
It's his and hers.
You know what? No, you know what? Try it again.
Who's that sexy man with a deep voice? Ace Cosby, here he is with his joke of the day.
You know, Jar Jar Binks has a famous brother who's an author.
God.
Wait a minute.
Now he's not even playing
Wait a minute. Jar Jar Binks has a famous brother who's what? He's a famous author. He's a famous author. What's his name? George Orwell.
No, just say George Orwell.
He got it.
George
Orwell.
Is Orwell. George Orwell.
George Orwell. It's a great joke. I'm so sorry. Christy Lee.
If only you were.
Christy Lee is at the news desk. Christy?
New survey data reveals Americans are using subtitles more than ever. According to a survey conducted by the e-learning platform Preply, 50% of Americans watch content with subtitles most of the time. 70% of Gen Z respondents and 53% of millennials said they watch TV with subtitles, compared to just 38% of Gen Xers and 35% of baby boomers. Very surprising.
You'd think that the older folks that are hard of hearing, but no.
The survey found celebrities who are the hardest to understand when speaking are... Anybody want to guess any of these?
I saw the article, so I'm out.
Number one, Tom Hardy.
Oh, sure.
Specifically on Peaky Blinders. He was
that you have to watch that.
A couple of seasons. He's kind of hard to do.
Sofia Vergara. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Sean Connery. Johnny Depp. Jackie Chan, Ozzy Osbourne, Benedict Cumberbatch, Michael Caine, and James McAvoy round out the top 10.
Joining us on the big screen TV, I can see him right there. It's comedian Reno Collier. Reno,
good morning, my friend.
Do you ever put on the closed captioning when you're watching TV?
Yeah, a lot, man. My wife won't shut up. I have to read it.
Well, 78% have difficulty hearing dialogue due to loud background music in films and TV shows. 55% of respondents agree it's harder to hear dialogue on screen than it used to be. 35% say actors and TV personalities are talking faster than they used to. Another reason people watch media in public places, they want to watch quietly at home, they want to stay focused on the screen, or even to learn a new language. The accents Americans have the hardest time understanding. Number 1, Scottish. Number 2, British. 3, Irish. 4, South African. 5th, Australian. And number 6, American South. Reno?
That is unfair. Completely. You named a whole bunch of Brits and then threw us in there with them. I agree. I when I went to Texas a couple weeks ago, I said into my Siri, I go, Siri, find me Roscoe, Texas. So I started driving there. It thought I said Briscoe, and I drove 2.5 hours out of the way.
Ooh.
So there's something in the, I don't know. But the Brits are always extraordinary. They always say words that they don't enunciate like we do or whatever. I can't understand it.
Yeah, it's actually really helpful. I wish they would do it at concerts.
What do you mean at concerts?
I'd like to know what the hell Dave Matthews is talking about up there.
Yeah. Or the Chili Pepper. Yeah.
Crashing. You know what I'm saying? It's not just Dave. I don't mean to pick on Dave. I mean, there's so many bands. It's like gibberish, 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 then a couple of words of the chorus. That's very, very common. Josh, are you a subtitle guy?
I mean, no. The only time I watch, if I'm watching a foreign film. But,
really?
No, I think this is more of a statement on the lack of attention and focus that younger generations have.
So what you're saying is the reason people can't understand the reason people can't understand Sofia Vergara is because they're staring at her boobs.
I have no problem understanding her. I don't know.
I don't either. But
just pay attention.
I have a really dumb question. Sorry. I don't know. Reno, do you watch a lot of pornographic video?
No.
Okay. Look how ready. Josh, do they have closed captioning on the porno videos?
They must. Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, is there like let me ask you this. Is there a special, you probably wouldn't, I wouldn't know this either. Is there a special channel or whatever you call it, a special place that you search for pornographic videos that have closed captioning?
I don't know.
I would think they would all be.
Or if those sites have like a button you can hit or whatever, and it'll come up.
So if you go to Pornhub or whatever it's called, Brazzers.
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 Yeah.
I was close.
Brazzers.
Do they have like Brazzers for the hearing impaired?
They must. Yeah.
Now, would the closed caption get in the way of the various genitalia?
They wouldn't.
That's actually a good...
All TVs have closed captioning.
Yes,
Captioning.
Where the hell are you from?
So it doesn't matter what you're playing on the TV. It would closed caption it.
No. The closed captioning is that people have to type that stuff in.
No,
Tom.
But it's on all TVs for all channels.
Yeah, but if you're watching porn on your laptop, will it just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what he's asking.
I think so.
First of all, move it off your lap. You're missing half the fun. No, but when you watch a show, someone has watched it and typed in the dialogue.
Well, of course.
I know, Tom.
So you're saying someone has to sit there when they make pornos and type in...
Probably. She moans,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, probably.
Why are you so stunned by this?
What a crappy job that would be.
What do you... Maybe there are people that really enjoy it.
Sitting there all day and...
Maybe there's an automatic program they have for that now. It is 2022.
Have you ever watched Tim Wilson with the things on?
No.
It's just a bunch of like asterisk yogurt number 7. You know? Okay. I did an Uncle B.S. if I could sneak it in here.
Oh, sure. A little tribute to the great Tim Wilson. Tim was famous for his character, Uncle B.S. Absolutely. Give it a shot.
All right. When I watch the news, sometimes his voice is just in my head, and it just kind of, Uncle B.S., where were you January the 6th, 2021? Well, let me think there. Washington, D.C., sitting at a bar in Applebee's, drinking shots with some Comic-Con reject dressed up like a Viking with a bear pelt around his neck. He's bitching about the cost of Jägermeister. I told him, hey, buddy, I lost my wallet during a tour of the Capitol building this morning. And if you and your buddies can go find it, the shots are on me. 2 hours later, some bitch comes back to Applebee's with a podium and a Ben Franklin putter. I gave the podium to the greeter, hung the putter on the wall, and called it even. Now that, my friends, is a neighborhood bar and grill.
Tim would be proud. We have a... Oh, can you grab that?
Hello, Bob and Tom Show.
Hey, Bob and Tom, it's Donnie Baker.
Hey, Donnie, how are you, sir?
Good. I was going to let you guys know today I'm headed over to this cool new CBD store called CBDB's.
Nice.
My Uncle Sonny with the wife told me to go. Mm-hmm. He ain't never been there, but he got the T-shirt. I don't know if I ever mentioned it to you guys, but I got a bad back.
Yeah?
I did not know you had a bad back. You,
Yeah, I heard it. I heard trying to lift a deer trying to get a deer in my car.
Really?
Well, why were you doing that? Did you hit it and were taking it to the vet or something?
No, I was taking it to the taxidermist, Tom, have it stepped and mounted. Hey, by the way, stepped and mounted also describes how my Saturday night went this weekend.
Oh,
Swear to God. Yeah, Josh, I went hogging, picked up this hot chubber named Sylvia. Rhonda's all-you-can-eat buffet.
Oh.
I'll tell you about that later. Let's just say she had more than her fill of pork and lapped up all the gravy. Swear to God. Anyways, I'm loading this deer into my trunk and felt something snap in my back. And I've tried all kinds of stuff for the pain. Aspirins, Tylenol, Goodies, Cool Orange. Nothing seemed to help. So I decided to try this whole CBD thing everybody's bragging about. Well, I heard CBD is part of the marijuana plant, but it ain't the part that makes you high.
Right.
And that's why it's legal in most states. Because that's how our stupid government works. Some fat old white-haired dude. Is it fun? Oh, if the answer is no, then legalize it. Thanks a lot, Nick Gingrich. Anyways, I'm going to buy a few tubes of it, rub it on my back, and see how it feels.
Okay.
I only got one problem. I'm not sure I can reach on my back where it hurts.
Oh, okay.
So maybe I'll get a second date with Sylvia, the buffet queen. Have her squeeze a tube and decorate my back like a birthday cake. Swear to God. I gotta go.
Thank you very much. That's an interesting name for a store, though.
Yeah.
CBDB's?
I wonder if they get away with that.
Has the T-shirts, but never been there. That is brilliant.
How many people do we know that have done
Everyone.
that? Yeah.
I was actually there once.
Of course you were.
Yeah, you got to go there and to Max's Kansas City, right?
Yeah. CBGB's. I saw Mink DeVille.
Wow.
I'm not familiar.
You're the Ace Cosby of music.
Yeah,
If it's a bad band, you're going to go watch them.
He had some good songs.
Did everyone think that you were an undercover cop?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I look like a narc.
Who's the guy in the New Balances? Jeez.
That blue-eyed man, that handsome man.
Boy, that shirt really brings out your eyes.
Sure does.
Is comedian Greg Warren. And, Greg, I can't see who is behind you in the photograph on the wall.
That's Estella Warren, Tom. She was in the movie The Cooler, Driven, Planet of the Apes with Marky Mark, and everybody's favorite Kangaroo Jack.
Oh, yeah, I love Kangaroo Jack.
Well, nice. And, of course, this is the Warren Report. Today's topic is?
It's Cabbage Patch Dolls, the hysteria that took place.
No, Chick was just being an idiot.
Chick was being a jerk.
What? No hubcaps?
1976, 21-year-old Xavier Roberts and his 5 art school buddies started Original Appalachian Artwork. And they made these dolls. They were called back then Little People Dolls. Probably a little more offensive today than it was back then. They were inspired by the folk art movement of the late 70s. They were hand-stitched, soft sculptured dolls. They sold them at like arts and craft shows, and they became popular pretty quickly. Xavier signed the left butt cheek of every one of the Little People dolls.
Yeah.
Kind of strange. They were all unique. They had different eye colors, different shaped heads. Every one of the dolls, they looked different than each one of the other dolls. Each doll came with a birth certificate. And back then, the names were unique names from 1938 Georgia birth records, which seems like that could go wrong. You know, your dolly's name is Rayford Taylor. I knew Rayford Taylor. He killed 7 men. You keep that dolly away from me. And a bottle of Jim Beam and a buck knife. And you were not allowed to buy the dolls. You had to adopt the dolls for an adoption fee. And they came with adoption papers that you had to fill out and mail in. He sold these at craft shows, but then started getting more popular. Xavier and his buddies bought an old medical clinic, and they kind of turned it into a nursery for babies being born, supposedly. It was called Babyland General Hospital. They had little incubators for all the dolls. All the employees dressed up like doctors and nurses. It seems a little strange. Depending
cute
on the nurse costume, I guess I could get behind it. And then they just got bigger and bigger. In 1981, he teamed up with a guy named Robert Schleifer. Robert was an ad guru, and he said, we got to change the name to Cabbage Patch Kids. And he came up with, he thought there should be a story behind Cabbage Patch Kids. And Xavier, the founder, was like, well, I have to be part of the story. So the story is young 10-year-old boy, Xavier Roberts, was led by a bunny bee through a waterfall to a magical land where cabbage patches grew magical children.
Willie, you had a trip like this once, didn't you?
I did. Bonnaroo, 07. This is crazy.
And he had to say, Xavier had to save all these children from the villains, Lavender McDade, Cabbage Jack, and Bo Weasel. These were bad guys. And
I've been to the Bo Weasel Monument.
Yeah, apparently if he didn't save them from the Cabbage Patch Kids would be put to work in the gold mines. Gold mining, I would think, would be tough work for babies.
Very. Wow.
So in they went around and they tried to get big toy manufacturers like Hasbro and Mattel and all those people to join up with them, and they all said no, except for one company, a Japanese company, Coleco. I think I had some of their video games when I was a kid.
Yeah, we had the ColecoVision.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was cool stuff, and they said, yeah, we'll make them, and they mass produced these things. The big change was they went from like a soft head to a plastic head, and the computers were able to accomplish what they called infinite randomization. So again, every one of these dolls looked different, and they generated new names, not from birth records in Georgia, but they were like weird names. So every baby was named something different. So you got names like Callow Weezer or Gano Jeweler.
Ghana Weezer. Ghana Weezer would be a VD with a cough.
Sorry. Yeah. So Frank Zappa you used the same computer to name his children.
I think so.
So, Greg, what year are we now here?
We're in 82 when they start mass producing. Okay. Tom, 83 is when they launched this kind of smart, savvy media campaign, and all hell broke loose. That's when there was a run on them. They staged a mass adoption at the Boston Children's Museum.
Oh, my.
And they gave all these dolls to local kids. The Today Show covered it. Jane Pauley had them on for like 5 minutes, which was a big deal back then. And that's when that Christmas was the first of all the Black Friday riots. I mean, people were stomping on each other. They were camping out to buy them like they were concert tickets. This is interesting. Kids were hurting themselves to blackmail their parents into getting a Cabbage Patch doll, which I don't think that would have worked with my dad. Like, Dad, I'm going to hurt myself if I don't get that toy. You got a gun? No. Have at it. Also, check this out. There's a Milwaukee morning show that said they went on the air and they said a B-29 bomber will be dropping 2,000 dolls from the sky in Milwaukee County Baseball Stadium, and you got to bring a baseball glove to catch it, and you have to wave a credit card in the air so they can take a picture of it, and you'll have a chance at getting one. And it was -2 degrees that day, and a couple dozen people showed up.
Oh, man.
And here's the thing. I think I probably would have been that guy. You know, like you got to think like a couple people probably left, and then there was probably a couple people that were staying. Like, no, man. BB and the douche man, they don't lie. They said they were going to be out here. These guys, I've been listening to them for 30 years. It's one of the things I appreciate about you. You guys never did that, did you, Tom?
No.
Nothing that. I didn't like the lying fake
stunt. Trick your listeners. Yeah. I've always appreciated that about you.
Well, there was one thing that we faked. But
but you weren't inviting people to go.
No, that's where we would throw stuff off the roof.
Catch it or keep it?
Catch it and keep it, claiming that we were really throwing live animals and stuff, and people had to catch them. Like a turtle you'd hear the cracking, but that was pretty clearly fake. Yeah.
So this thing got crazy. I mean, you've seen all the videos and stuff like a lady got a broken leg at these store riots. A store owner had to protect himself with a baseball bat. There were a lot of fakes back then. And the way you could tell a fake Cabbage Patch doll was it smelled like kerosene because they were stuffing it with kerosene rags.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah.
So flammable also then.
Yeah, I would imagine. How
long did the craze last?
Well, that year they sold 3 million in 1983, and they ran out. And the next year in 1984, they sold 20 million. There's been 130 million sold to date. And of course, that came with all the merchandising, cereal, cartoons, lunchboxes, 2 billion in sales for Cabbage Patch Kids.
Are they still out there?
Yes. But there's some interesting stuff here. Xavier became like famous. He was like 10 most eligible bachelors in the world. And he said, big deal. Boy George is on the list, which I don't know why you got to take a shot at George. I don't know why. Yeah, but he kind of looked like one of those 80s poser type guys. I don't know. He had like a cowboy hat on, and he wasn't a cowboy, and he had the close shaved beard. He looked like a member of that super country group Alabama. Remember those guys? Sure. He looked like one of those guys. But legal problems, Tom. They sued this company called Garbage Pail Kids.
I loved Garbage Pail Kids, yeah.
Yeah, they were trading cards, right, Josh?
Yep, yeah. They were funny.
And they were basically they were doing a parody of Cabbage Patch Kids. They were like grosser.
Yeah, very, yeah.
And Xavier got mad and said, well, they're damaging us, which, come on, man. It's a parody.
Yeah.
It's not going to be flattering. Have you guys ever seen Mike McRae's impression of me? It's not flattering. It's
hey, that's good. That's dead on.
It's not flattering. Anyways, Garbage Pail Kids wound up having to give them a little bit of money. It was like a licensing fee. But here's the rub. There's a lady named Martha Nelson Thomas. She was an art student in Louisville back in the 70s. Xavier ripped her off. This was not his idea at all. Yeah, he bought these what she called doll babies. He bought these things from her back in the 70s at an art fair and sold them when he was like at a gift shop at a state park in Georgia. And she went over there and said, hey, don't sell these anymore. She was like very arty and not into commerce. And she had like little notes in each of the clothing that said, this is what the doll likes to do. She was all about the art. And she said, don't sell these. And at one point he wrote her a letter that says, if you don't give me more of these, I'm going to steal your idea and sell them on my own. And she also, back then, I guess, if you wanted to copyright something, you had to put that C with a circle on it. Mm-hmm. And she wouldn't do it. She said she didn't want to deface her dolls. So she sued him, and it was nasty. It went on for like 6 years. Finally, they approached her with a settlement, and she just said, yeah, fine, whatever you want. It was undisclosed, but she said, all my kids are going to go to college because of this. So she wasn't really much about the money.
Okay. Stupid.
They're still out there, Tom. You can get them at Pat and Joe Prosy. They have a store called Magic Crystal Valley. And they have 5,000 of them there. And if you call them dolls, they get angry because they say they are their children. And, which somebody should call Child Protective Services because you're a weirdo and you should not have children.
Watch the entire show live or on demand at bobandtom.com.
Hey man, this is Donnie Baker. If you just like that video, then do your part. Like and subscribe. You have to. It's state law.